Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Tamid. Welcome back to my channel, Cheap Talks, where basically I talk about cricket as well as my opinions on the game and just cricket in general, and how I perceive cricket and what ever is going on and in the world of cricket and the hottest news and topics of the world of cricket. If you're a cricket fanatic and you don't know where to talk about cricket as it excites you, and you really want to talk about cricket, then I'm your one stop destination, because I can talk about cricket with you 24/7 all night long. I don't have a problem with talking about cricket. If you are as much as a fan as I am, then please, I would suggest you to join me as we break down the world of cricket, and together let's explore the possibilities and the enjoyment this wonderful game brings us. With that being said, let's get straight into today's topic of discussion, which is the Indian cricket team and its puzzles and muddles with the middle order. Now, basically, I think the problem that India have right now is a problem which uh, they can solve, and regarded with what I think is regarding that issue that they should have solved a long time back. Now, with other teams, what we see is that what happens is players and cricketers and the team management, the captains, they tend to give other players are the players that they want to see in that role, that they believe is strong, that can fit the role of the middle order, specifically number 4, uh, to just give them an extended run and see what they can make out of it. Now, with the thing with India is, as many of us have called it, it's a good headache that you have so many options. But I think India just keep on chop and changing too often. Now, this is a very big issue which I would like to take it from the top, and let me explain. The problem here is number 4 is that the top 3 for India have always been decided as to Rohit Sharma. Shikhar Dhawan used to play, now he's injured, and after his injury, KL Rahul got his opportunity. So KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma at the top, Virat Kohli number 3. That's a given, right? So number 4 is where they're struggling, right? They tried Rishabh Pant, but he's not really a number 4 batsman, in my opinion. I would rather have uh, I would rather have someone who's a bit more circumspect, because what you see with Rishabh Pant is, I'm not saying that he can't play with a sensible head, because I know he can. He has a good head on his shoulders, and he's shown that in Test cricket, in pitches of England where the ball seams around and swings around. However, I do believe that Rishabh Pant isn't your typical number 4. He can't be that batsman. If you're looking for a, maybe if you're looking for 1 or 2 games makeshift batsman, then he's your guy. But I really think that Rishabh Pant is number 5, 6. You can play him at 5 or 6. Now the problem here is number 4 is a place where you need, if you lose 2 early wickets, suppose if you lose 2 early wickets, then what happens is you need a batsman coming at in number 4 where he knows his role that he needs to play. Would take a little bit of time, play sensibly for a while, and then as he gets into his innings, as the innings for India rebuilds, then you can have them come. Then you can have players come in, uh, and then he can explode sort of, and be aggressive and flamboyance, and show his flamboyance. However, for me, the process is this, that what happens with India is number 4 becomes a position where they don't stick with one batsman. Like, I I don't want to point fingers, but under Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, what happened is both the coach and the captain were very sort of, for lack of a better word, they seem to be pair bonded, right? So the thing is, for me, Virat Kohli was a captain who was very aggressive, who couldn't tolerate that his players were not performing to the level that he expected. Now, this is a common syndrome with all good players, or most good players that are given the captaincy, best players of the team that are given the captaincy. Now, there are exceptions to this, right? There are exceptions, like Kane Williamson is a cool headed, he's the best player that New Zealand has ever produced, in my opinion, and uh, he's also the captain. Now, if you look at Steven Smith, he's the same. He's the best player for Australia, and before the whole suspension drama and the controversy, he was the captain, captaining Australia in all 3 formats, I believe. So that is something that works with a few players, right? A few players uh, who can play with a cool head. I'm not saying Virat Kohli can play with a cool head, but he himself needs to get pumped up, right? He himself needs to get pumped up and ready for a fight. Now, you can't have a captain like that, right? Because at times, what we see with, if you take the example of MS Dhoni, what comes to your mind when you hear the name MSD? Captain Cool. Why is that? Because he understands that as a captain you are only as good as the team, right? And your team is as good as the your weakest link, right? So if Kohli were to be a little more, uh, how should I put this, a little more cool headed, a little more easy, then maybe, yeah, maybe uh, maybe Kohli could have gotten the captaincy. But this is not just because he's angry. He's a hot-headed player. We have seen this in the late 90s. India did this with Sachin Tendulkar as well. Back then, what happened? Sachin Tendulkar was the best player, so he got the captaincy. Right? He got the captaincy. They were looking for a good captain. They were looking for a captain that could take over and that could take Indian cricket to new heights. Then they gave Sachin Tendulkar the captaincy. Now with Tendulkar, what happened was, he is a cool-headed person, right? We know how Tendulkar is. He's extremely down to earth. He's extremely humble. But what happened is, he was trying to uh, take the responsibility of the whole team, in which he did, what he did was, he kept on dropping down the batting order. Like, we've always seen Tendulkar, uh, for most of his career, we have seen Tendulkar bat at the top, right? In his early days, he did bat at number 4, number 5, but Tendulkar has always been an opener, and that's where he's been suited. But as the captaincy, as the burden of captaincy, now there are some players that excel in the role of captaincy and that has a positive effect on their game, and there are some players that have a negative effect on their game, right? So in the case of Tendulkar, what happened was, the team structuring was so out of balance that Tendulkar was batting at 5-6, where you basically have to work as a finisher. And with all due respect to the little master, he was never the type of batsman that could finish off an innings. He could set the innings like no one else. He could play as the batsman, as the anchor, with whom uh, around whom everyone else batted, right? But he was never a batsman that could, score 50 of 30 balls and play that finishing role. Now, this is what happened at the 90s, and I'm telling you all this to because I believe all of this adds up. Now, into our present situation with Kohli getting the captaincy, the ODI captaincy in 2017. So, what happened was that Kohli, as a batsman, was, yeah, in my opinion, he's still the best batsman in the world, right? And I believe that now that Kohli is back, getting back into form, I believe that if he plays another 5-6 years, he's gonna break Tendulkar's record, no doubt. However, the process that I believe was the false accusation was that the BCCI made the same mistake with Kohli as they did with Tendulkar. You shouldn't give the best player of your team, right? That the player that the player that makes who builds the game for you, to captain the innings. Now, if we look at football or soccer, depends on where you're from. What happens there is, yeah, the best player in the team often wears the captain's armband, but there it's a game where the coach is doing most of the talking, if not all the talking. So, but in cricket, what happens is the captain has to make decisions on the field, and no matter how much the coach till lays out a plan and does all the preparation and everything involved with it, it's the captain, the person that is entrusted with the responsibility of leading his side, who has to make the decisions on the field, right? So the problem is that when you put that pressure on a player, as the caliber of Virat Kohli, things get heated up, things get rough, and they did. Now we all know, if you guys follow the game as closely as I do, there have been incidences where, say, with Kuldeep Yadav in the IPL, RCB versus KKR, where Virat Kohli and Kuldeep Yadav had some hot exchanges, and Virat Kohli then played an innings and said something to Kuldeep Yadav. Now, that wasn't really good. In fact, Kuldeep Yadav I believe, has never been the same bowler he once was. The bowler that he started his career showed a lot of promise, but as time wore on, he lost his edge. Right now, Virat Kohli, you cannot blame that on Virat Kohli. I think the BCCI made the biggest blunder by giving him the captaincy. I I think he didn't need the captaincy, right? He was already the biggest thing in world cricket, and not just Indian cricket, world cricket, right? Why give that an additional responsibility on a player that's doing way too much for you, right? Now, a lot of you will say he's he got the test captaincy and did well. Bro, the test captaincy doesn't matter, right? Test cricket and ODI cricket are different. They are different. Test captaincy depends on Test captaincy is something which is different than ODI captaincy. Test captaincy, you have an opportunity. Test captaincy, you can hold back. You can. It's a patient game, Test cricket, and it's sometimes, as many casual fans call it, it's a boring game. Test cricket requires you to dig your heel, heels in, and keep on bowling to a field, and be patient, and the results will come. Now, Test cricket, what you will say is Test cricket. India played so well and all that under Kohli and became ranked number one. Again, Test cricket in India, Test matches, the ball starts turning from the first over, right? And now another group of people might say it's biased and all that, but let's not get into that. Test cricket is a very different thing from ODI cricket, right? And I'm not saying that Kohli isn't strong enough to make decisions. He is, but he is not that sort of player. I think not that sort of individual who can make decisions on the welfare of the team, right? It doesn't mean that he's not uh, a good player or he's not capable of winning games for India. He is, and there's no doubt on that. I believe he still has the best average while chasing down targets for India, and possibly for world cricket. In world cricket, however, I'm not sure about that. So if I'm wrong, then please do correct me. So the thing is, the frustrations that India face right now with terms to the middle order is that they don't stick with one individual, one individual, and give him a long run shot. This is what I said in my last video in terms of Bijoy, Enamul Haq Bijoy for Bangladesh. You need to give a player the confidence that you might fail in this match, okay, no problem. You might fail in this match, okay, no problem. But we'll give you the opportunity and you play, and we'll give you a handful of opportunities, a good amount of opportunities, and all you need to do is play one good innings, win one match for India, and then the spot is yours. And if still a player can't make that happen, then okay, then it's okay, then you look for another opportunity, right? But how does this work that every time a new player comes into a team, he is thinking that not about winning a game for his team, but that he has to score in this match or he's gonna be dropped, right? This isn't the right mentality for a cricketer. This isn't the right mentality when you're playing for your country. This isn't how things should work. This is not a very good practice, right? You're sending in a player who's been coming back into the team after a long time, which, believe you me, is not the most easy thing to do, right? And then he's got to deal with the issue of, if he doesn't score runs, if he doesn't get a 50, he's gonna be dropped for the next match, and God knows how long it's gonna take before he's back in the team, right? However, the thing is, for me, I believe that with Virat Kohli getting the captaincy wasn't, you can't pin that fully on Virat, right? Rohit Sharma, now the captain of India, who is now the captain, started getting into form ever since he was sent up the order to opening in the Champions Trophy 2013, right? So, but before that, and I believe Virat Kohli's peak season was 2012 2013. That was the peak two. Those were the two peak years of his life as a cricketer, and I think those 2 years were the time when he announced himself to world cricket, right? I, however, believe that given whatever happened, if Rohit Sharma could have performed, and he did get chances in the middle order and all that, but Rohit Sharma, if he would have scored in the middle order, he would have gotten the chance, and one day he might have been the captain of India a long time before, right? Now, having said that, I don't think Rohit Sharma would have been the player he is today if uh, he batted in the middle order. And as stats show and everything else, the middle order hasn't been Rohit Sharma's friend, right? It's like a the middle order is a like a toxic ex-girlfriend for Rohit Sharma, right? And the team management uh, kept was his mindset. Like when you're with a ex-girlfriend, you know she's toxic for you, you know she's bad for you, but you still go back to her in the hopes that she is someone you're familiar with, right? And Rohit Sharma was always offered an opportunity in the middle order before 2013. Now 2013 everything changed. Rohit Sharma was in the team. He started scoring runs, but he was still new to that fold. By then, at 2014, MSD retires after the Test series uh, in England, and then Virat Kohli gets the captaincy. Virat Kohli getting the captaincy meant that Virat Kohli was on track, that after Dhoni, Virat Kohli was going to get the captaincy. Now, in the in I don't know if uh, at least in Bangladesh, I don't think that that's the case. But in suppose at least in India, the thing is the Indian players, the Indian media, the players, the staff, the support team, no one seems to like the concept of, say, split captaincy, which I don't see what's the problem with it. I think that's a very good uh, thing to do, because as you know, playing 15 years on the highest level and on the level that India play their cricket now has its toll, both physically and mentally. And nowadays, with Ben Stokes taking his time away from the game to sort his mental health issues, we knew that mental health was a very open and clear and big issue in any sportsman's life, right? So if you give someone the uh, split captaincy, you're just taking off half his burden, you're cutting off half his burden, that you have to captain your side in this format, you captain your side in this format. Now, with all that being said, that's enough about Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and the and there's the whole saga about Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, and the fact that they're not the best of friends and all that. And if you wanna, it's very interesting. I myself didn't know. I knew there were some things, but I never knew that it stemmed that deep, and it is deep. And if you wanna watch it, I suggest you go to Ras Cricket English, where the content creator makes a wonderful three part documentary type about 3 videos actually about the whole Rohit Sharma Virat Kohli saga from the beginning of their careers to how their careers at the start could not have been at polar and more far from each other, and then how interestingly at the same time they kind of came together, and now they're playing for India at the highest level beside each other. Enough about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Now, Rohit Sharma getting the captaincy is still, I think, a good thing, right? I think India has a lot of talent, and the only reason they don't have a proper number four yet is because they don't stick with one player, right? In 2011, after India won the World Cup, that team was the most stabilized team, most established team in Indian history. Having said that, I don't think if that team would have played today that they could go very far, because like it or not, cricket has changed. Now, a lot of people, a lot of old timers uh, don't like the changes, some of the changes, but it has changed. And for casual fans and for even hardcore fans such as myself, I think this is a very good change. I think the change is a wonderful thing. Now, having changed all that, having been through that change, 2015 new World Cup, you can understand that Indian team is a new team and it's too early for them to be performing. But they still did a great job playing in Australia, reaching the semi-finals, knocked out by the hosts, who went on to win the World Cup that year. So the thing is, I don't think 2015 you understand that they didn't have that experience. By 2019 at least, with the amount of bilateral series they have won, both home and away, right? They should have fixed the number 4 spot, right? I think that is what was lacking. I mean, Virat Kohli as a captain is very good, but I think what they did was him and Ravi Shastri, both of them, what they did was they came on and they kept on chopping and changing, and excuse me, that really brought a change. That really brought instability into the team and the environment, and it affected the whole team. Now, the whole purpose of the whole discussion again is that India required a stable management, a management that was willing to give their players a chance, right? India, as I've covered in my last episode as well, has an abundance of players, and they're never gonna run out of this supply. They're like the um, Arabs of world cricket, who will never run out of oil. Like the Arabs never run out of oil, the Indians will never run out of talent, right? And they will always have that talent. It's it's a matter of how well you can set the pieces of the puzzle together and create a masterpiece, right? Now, number 4 is a very, very crucial spot, right? And I'm taking a very big call here, in that I'm openly stating that even if India cannot fix their number 4 spot, they're not gonna win the World Cup at home soil. I'm stating it outright, because your batting lineup shouldn't only depend on your top order, right? The middle order needs to do something. Like what happened in 2019, like when you, semi-final in the semifinals you saw 240 and you felt like India should win this easily and all that. But what happened was one bad day and the top order doesn't make runs, and it happens in a crucial game. You need the middle order to stand up, right? They were, I guess, in 30 overs or 32 overs, whatever it was, 92 for 6, right? Back then, the only reason the game got so close was Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Ravi Jadeja playing the way they did, basically carrying India near the finishing line, but they ran out of steam, right? So the whole purpose is not is to set up a team that can score, that can handle the pressure even when the top order doesn't perform, because it's a matter of only 5 years, right? Both Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they're 35, right? After 5 years, I don't think, no matter how fit you are, any cricketer will play, and especially Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they have been playing international cricket since they were 18 years old, right? So they have had a wonderful, stellar career. However, I think after they turn 40, they're not going to play. They're going to retire from world cricket. And that is where the pressures will start to sink in. And the problems will keep on stinging India as long as they don't find a solution for this. Now, I again I reiterate this, that India always have talent. It's how they put them into place and how flawlessly they can bring them together as a whole team. India will always have players that are good enough to represent the team, right? But they will never be able to get this together if they keep on chopping and changing. Now, I would like to talk about the Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid era, right? So this is the place where, again, now Rohit Sharma got into captaincy, and now he's the Indian captain, and the team is not performing, and there are questions being asked of his own form as well as the Indian form. Now the thing is, I think Rohit Sharma is late into captaincy. Honestly, if I'm being honest, he's 5 years too late into captaincy, right? I think he's 5 years too late into captaincy. I think if you were to give him captaincy, you should have given it back in 2017, right? When Virat Kohli got the captaincy. I think if you would have given him the captaincy back then it might have made a difference, right? And as far as Rahul Dravid goes, I think Rahul Dravid, you cannot be too critical of him, right? He got into the team at a position where there was huge backlash uh, when Ravi Shastri came with the job and all that. I think, and as much as the BCCI tries to spin this and say that it was mutual and all that, I think there was extreme pressures put on Ravi Shastri, and he was 60 years old. Man. He doesn't need anymore. He doesn't need it anymore. He's 60 years old. He's an old man. Obviously, we all love Ravi, and his voice on commentary is one of the reasons that you feel excited to watch cricket, right? But I think the problem was after the whole backlash of Ravi Shastri quitting the coaching role and all that. Uh, Rahul Dravid came into the team at a time when there was huge instability in the team, right? And the whole Kohli and Rohit saga and everything coming out, that after everything, I think Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma will have always been at the spotlight of the whole captaincy problems and the team management problems and everything. However, the thing that I love the most about Virat Kohli is that he will give it his best shot. If he's the captain, he will make decisions, and you might not like most decisions. And I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't like his decisions, right? Most of his decisions, that is, as the captain. However, I think that Rohit Sharma getting the captaincy right now is too late. That begs the question that where does India stand? Who should have taken the captaincy? Now that's an interesting question because no matter where you go from here on, right? No matter where you go from here on, even if Rohit Sharma retires after the 2023 World Cup being his last World Cup, that would still have KL Rahul in his mid 30s or early 30s. I'm not sure of his age, but that would still give Rahul, if KL Rahul is given the captaincy after Rohit Sharma, the opportunity that he doesn't have time. He doesn't really have time, and it takes a while to get set in the captaincy role, right? And as far as Rahul Dravid is, I think Rahul Dravid is going to be just fine, right? But for India to win the World Cup, they need to fix this number 4 spot, and they need to do it ASAP. They need to do it as quick as possible, because if they are not able to gel, because now the World Cup might be looking still a long way ahead. But nowadays the amount of cricket that's being played and the scheduling that's been going on right now is hectic, and within a blink of an eye, the World Cup comes around 2023, and if India don't fix their middle order muddle, they aren't going to win the World Cup. As simple as that. Having said that, again I reiterate this: India have the quality and the components. It's a matter of putting everything together, and it's going to be a recipe for success. Recipe for success. Now that is something that I just came up on the spot. You should give me a like and subscribe to my channel just for that. And please share it with your friends. I'm a broke man. I don't have money. I need you guys to subscribe so that I can earn money from this. So the whole thing is, India might win the World Cup based on whether or not they can fix these problems in the middle order. And they need to, I'm just focusing on number 4 in this video, but number 5, number 6, all of these things need to be understood, right? They need to be handled well. When it was the 2011 World Cup, they had depth, right? At number 8, Yusuf Pathan would come in, and I considered him a proper batsman, a proper hitter. right? So depth will only come if they fix the middle order and they put players in good places, and if they are able to do that, there's no stopping India on home soil. But if they aren't, then you never know. Again, that's all I had to say. So thank you for watching, uh, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow after the game between Bangladesh and India for the post-match analysis. Till then, take care, bye bye, and stay safe.